What's going on, guys? In the works, and if there's one weapon out there that I find just frustrates people to no end, it's probably the SKS. And let's take a look at how mad it makes somebody in this game. You can see that it doesn't take long before someone gets kind of cranky about me using this particular weapon. And I'm actually joking about it in this game. I'm like, yeah, I wonder how long it'll take before someone finally says something. And as soon as I said that, it was almost like, I rung a bell and the person types in the chat, some snarky comment about the SKS. But this is definitely a weapon that people love to hate, but it was a weapon that is in the way of me completing my mastery quest. So I had to sit down and grind out my 500 kills with the SKS. And I actually get it the game after this particular game you're watching, and I go pretty much off on this game. I go on a pretty good tear. I think I end up with like almost 40 kills. We get pushed all the way to the brink. I'm only going to show this base and part of the next base because that's where most of the SKS kills were. But it pretty much shows you just how deadly this weapon can be. And it's one of those rage weapons. And there's always those weapons out there. One of those weapons that just makes people go ballistic. Now, you would think that it'd be the M16, but I think since everybody uses the M16, it's not really fair to say the M16 is a rage weapon. Me personally, the weapon that really annoys me the most to get killed by, you guys already know I hate getting killed by M26 frags. I feel like that's just probably the biggest embarrassment possible. But the AEK is the weapon that just drives me nuts because it's got such a ridiculously high fire rate. There's really nothing that can top it within a certain amount of range. So that would probably be the weapon that makes me rage the most. But for whatever reason, the SKS is one of those that just no one likes. I feel like I get more comments about using the SKS than any other weapon in the game. I know a lot of people think it's overpowered or, it's just too good, but I don't know. I'm really on the fence about that. I find the SKS to really not be that great. I mean, it can get work done, as you can see here. You can take people down pretty quickly at some ranges. I mean, especially if you've got the heavy barrel on this thing, it really makes this thing just super, super accurate. I think once they patched this and gave it the heavy barrel, once they patched the damage a little bit on this thing, it made it a lot more attractive to use. Especially because at medium range, it just wasn't as good. I think the heavy barrel kind of helps that a little bit. And the bullet velocity is not the greatest on the SKS. I think it only shoots around, I want to say 450 meters per second. I think it may just be a hair lower, like 440 meters per second. I don't know, but it's around that. So it doesn't shoot super quick, especially considering that I think it's the slowest bullet velocity out of all the, quote, sniper rifles, or we'll just say recon, all the recon weapons, not counting the PDWs, obviously. So it's definitely not a true sniper rifle. You're not going to get any crazy long, marksman bonuses with this thing, but you can get some one-shot kills with it. You can get some one-shot headshots within its range, and the heavy barrel does increase that just slightly. But I think within around, I want to say 15 meters, you can get a one-shot kill with the SKS to the head. So it does 43 damage. You multiply that by 2.4. There's where you get your one-shot kill if you shoot him in the head, because the headshot is a 2.4 multiplier. But like I said, this thing is pretty versatile. I think the reasons why people get so mad about it is up and close, you can just spam it from the hip. At the medium ranges, it's really easy to just lock on people and take them down really quickly. And it's just one of those weapons that I think frustrates people. They look at it, they're like, "Oh, that's a noob cannon. It takes no skill," and that tends to be the typical stance a lot of people have with these semi-auto recon weapons in the game. And I think that's something we're never going to get past. But I sat down to think about it. I was like, okay, why is it that the SKS, out of all the weapons in Battlefield 3, why is it seems like everybody gets mad about this weapon? And if you don't believe me, put it on and play, a handful of rounds on this. I bet you you'll get somebody who leaves a snarky comment saying something about you using the SKS. And I've never really understood that. I feel like if you're going to go out of your way to complain about the weapon, people are going to complain about like the M16 noobs or something like that. But I guess those are just all too common, so they have to pick on the lowly little SKS users, because you don't see the SKS used that often. I mean, it does have a lot of people that hate it, but for the most part, it's just really not that used. I mean, especially on console. When I played console, I almost never saw anybody using it. But on PC, it was a whole different story. I saw it a lot in the beginning. I saw a lot more people using it, but it's kind of died off lately. I think people have just gotten tired of trying to use different weapons. They're just like, screw it. M16, M416, or bust, or AEK. It tends to be that's all you ever see these days. So, honestly, I can respect an SKS user. I don't get mad. If I see someone using it, I might actually give them a props. I was like, dang, you're you're actually using something different. Because it's nice to see somebody using something that isn't an assault rifle. But, you know, I think one of the reasons why people just get so mad at this is just because we need something to complain about in Battlefield. I mean, we got to have some sort of excuse for why we're not doing well, and a spam or quote noob cannon, like a lot of people kind of pin it as, is an easy target. In a world where M16s and AEKs just dominate, the SKS is just fighting for a place in this world. But after using it for the 500 kills, I can easily say that even though I didn't think it was bad and I did enjoy using it, I found it to be actually kind of fun. I was pretty relieved to get done with it because I was like, okay, good. I'm glad that's over. Now I can move on to something else. Because honestly, it's just, I don't know, it's just okay. I don't think it can compete with my AN94 because the AN94 is my favorite rifle, and I just think that's more fun to use. It's more practical to me. I feel like I could do much better with my AN94 than I could with an SKS. Most of the shots I get with the SKS, I'm like, okay, well, I could have done that 2 times quicker with the AN94. So, or even the G3. The G3 is a really good alternative to this. Plus, you can use the overpowered medic kit with it. So let me know, guys. Do you think that the SKS is one of those weapons that is just too newbie? It was one of the weapons that I needed to get for my mastery quest, though. It was standing in the way of me being complete on that. But now that I have my 500 stars, I probably won't pick this up for a while. Probably done. You know, I think it's safe to say that since Battlefield 4 is coming out so soon, I may never use the SKS again. That's kind of a sad thing to think about, that I'll never pick this weapon up again because I have so many left that I have to finish, and I really, really, really want to finish my 500 kills with every single primary before Battlefield 4 comes out because I've been talking about it forever. I really hope that I can finish it up so that I can have that on my resume. I'd be like, okay, guys, you know, in Battlefield 4, and that was a really lucky knife, I'm going to start from the beginning, and I won't have to wait this long to get my 500 kills with every weapon. I can start, you know, with a fresh slate and go from there. So SKS, you know, it was great, but, you know, time to move on to some greener pastures. So let me know in the comments, though, what you guys think about the SKS. I'm actually kind of curious. Do you hate this weapon like the guy at the beginning of the video did, or do you just think it's whatever and you'd rather just use your assault rifle? So let me know. If you missed my past videos, here is a chance to catch up, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.